Hey, welcome on in. Thanks for clicking on the link. Hey, my name's Bill, and this is Working the Grill with Know-It-All Bill. Alright, hey, welcome back in again today for another episode of Working the Grill with Know-It-All Bill. On tap tonight is chicken. And as you can see by what is in front of me here, I've got some nice big chicken breasts. I'm going to cut those in just a second. I've got some garlic salt, I've got some black pepper, I've got some white pepper, and I've got some Progresso Italian seasoning. And then hidden behind that, take a look here, I've got my flour, I've got my bread seasoning, and I've got my dredge. I'm going to be doing what I call half pan chicken tonight. I'm going to be taking these chicken breasts, going to be taken through the flour, through the dredge, and through the bread seasoning. I'm going to put them over into this pan here and then cooking them up. It's a great tasty meal. Really nice crust on the chicken. I think you're going to like it. So I'll see you back in a second and I'll show you how I'm going to cut the chicken. And then what I've got here for first is my flour dredge. What I took here is a 1/3 cup of just a regular old flour. Nothing special, just just flour. And then I've got some coarse black pepper, and no real rhyme or reason on that. I just mix this stuff in, just get it in there, season it a little bit. Okay, what I did over here is I got 2 eggs, and then I used about a 1/4 teaspoon of white pepper. Again, you're going to know I like pepper, so don't worry about seasoning. Add more if you like it. I use about a 1/4 teaspoon. Eggs, a little bit of milk. And then this one here, this is, as I said, it's Progresso breadcrumbs. But what I've mixed into this is also some Japanese panko to give it a little bit more texture. And then I added into this some of this stuff, which is some Lawry's garlic salt. So all this is going to make for a really great coating on this chicken. But let me show you how I got here in the first place. Get this stuff out of my way. And then what we've got is some chicken. The chicken's probably our most important piece of this. And one of the things you're going to notice here is that I've really got all the fat trimmed off this. As a matter of fact, you really got to make sure the fat's off of this. And you want as dry a chicken as you can get. And the reason why you want a dry chicken is when you put water in the oil, anytime you've seen you add water in a boiling oil, everything splatters and it just goes everywhere. Using this dry chicken, I dried it off and I got all the fat off it. I'm not going to get that. I'm going to have a very low, bubble rate. You'll see it. The other thing is the chicken that I buy. I buy a chicken that's less than 2% water. Notice how thick this is. When you're at Sam's Club or wherever you buy your chicken, be careful where you're getting it from. Make sure you take a look at that because you want as low water as possible. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to fillet this one. Use a fillet knife. And we're going to cut this in half because we want this stuff to cook nice in the pan, and a big thick piece is just not going to do that. So we'll work through a few of these here, and they're going to be cut down even more as I move on. And I like to cut from the thin part to the fat part. Keep your hands away, as you all know. And then last but not least, you see these are some really thick. It would take forever to cook in that pan. You got to have thin chicken when you're going to deep fry it, or you're going to half pan cook it like that. Got to be thin. That way you end up with nice juicy chicken, and it's great. So we'll come back in just a second. I'm going to have this all cut up. And we'll go ahead and start dredging and get ready to get it cooking. See you in a bit. We're back. By now you can see I've got all the chicken sliced. And again, it's just nice thin pieces. These are going to cook really evenly. That's the whole idea. So what we're going to do is I like to set them in and let them suck up a little bit of the flour. Like so. And then flip them over. Now your fingers are going to get messy here. You can use tongs, but tongs get messy. Just let them get a little bit of flour on them. And then what we're going to do is we're going to dredge them. Allow the batter to get on. You want this eggs on there. You want this on here. And then get the stuff off. Then we're going to set it right in there. We're going to allow that to sit on there and stage. You'll see this in some of the shows too. Get this all off because we're going to need it. And there we go. And then don't be in too much of a hurry. Just take your time and let them get in there. And it's set. Allow this to pick up. What you get is the big crust. Picks up the little crust. There we go. And now I see nothing's falling off. Alright, so now I'm going to do this to the rest of this stuff and we'll check back in with you and we'll have this all ready. Okay, we're all set. Chicken's ready. Got it all coated. And let's get ready to roll. Now you're going to notice I'm going to use 2 sets of tongs. First set is going to be for putting the meat in and then turning it. The second set I use for taking the meat out. One of the things you want to remember, particularly with chicken, is cross-contamination. Make sure you have multiple sets of tongs. So let's go. Our oil is hot. You want to take a look. I put them in kind of counterclockwise. I try to use pieces that are the same thickness. That would all cook about the same length of time. And resist the temptation to try cramming too much in. If you cram too much meat in, you don't allow it to cook properly. The coldness has got to dissipate. The bubbles need to go. So if you're cramming it in, it's just not going to cook right. Same thing like on a grill. All right, so come on and take a look at that, Michael. Now what we're going to see, let me show you kind of what I look for. Notice the reason I call it half pan chicken is because it only comes halfway up the side of the chicken. You don't have a lot of oil. This one's a smaller piece. But with these particularly, you're not seeing the oil washing over the top of them. And what I'm going to do, this is going to, I'm going to allow this to set for quite a while. And you're going to see some coloration come in through here. Then I'm going to flip them over. Really important with this chicken, you just turn it one time and that's it. Cook one side, maybe 3-4 minutes, 3.5 maybe. Then the other side 3 minutes and take it off. When I set it over onto this the plate here, it'll continue to cook a little bit, so the chicken will be done just perfectly. So we'll come back in once they get ready to turn these over. Okay, now we're set to turn this over. In about 3 minutes, we get a nice, deep golden brown. Oh yeah. This panko and the seasoning just makes a nice crunch. And there we go. And look at, see how everything is maintained. We didn't wash anything off. The reason why it didn't wash off is because I had the oil at 350 degrees. You've got to have this oil hot when you put this in. Anytime you fry, you got to have the oil hot, or just wash your seasoning right off. So always make sure you check with the thermometer, get your oil hot. You can see all our crunches. Oh boy, this is going to be awesome. So another 2 or 3 minutes, it's going to come on out, and then we'll let you see them when they're all done. So it'll be a little while for me, but you'll see us in a few minutes. All right, okay. I've got most of them done now. I'm just finishing up the last. Michael, come on, zoom in. Let's show them what this looks like. So once it's done, you got a nice crust all the way around, nice tender. Just look at how moist that chicken is. You just see the moistness coming off. Really nice. So we'll let these finish up here. I want to add a couple things. Let me show you. Come on over here. Now you're going to notice the bubbles. You see how they're very low bubbles? You're not seeing a lot of explosions and a lot of spattering. That's because we trimmed the fat. That's because we used a low water chicken. It's very important that you do that. You'll notice my oil has kind of gone down a little bit here. So what I'll do is I've got a few more pieces. I'm going to add a little bit more oil to it. But what I'll do is I'll allow the fresh oil to get back up to temperature. And what I like to do is I'll wait about 30 to 45 seconds after I take one batch out to put in the next batch. That way my oil is always at the temperature. The tendency is the oil, if you put in too much cold chicken, it's going to suck some of the heat out of it. So that's what we've got for you. This is what I call my half pan chicken. It's great to make for everybody. It's great for football parties. It's great for nibbling. So we'll see you again and enjoy. Take care.